Hi everyone, welcome to the TWC Home Improvement Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about solid roofs and the different options that are available for home extensions and conservatory replacements. We're here with Joseph Heaton,
Andrew Hill,
and Craig Keithley from Ultraframe.
So I think what we'd really like to get into today actually is the different options that are available to customers for either a new build extension or a conservatory replacement, what the different advantages of the different solid roofs are, benefits of the different options. So certainly from our point of view, I know when customers come into our showroom, they're often unsure what is available, and so the main three that we'd like to talk about today really would be the tiled roof, the hybrid roof, and the lantern roof.
In our showroom, we've showcased all three of those different roofs, so you can actually go in there and look, feel, touch, and sort of get to grips. There's lots of information on there, but it'd be really helpful. Craig, we recently invited you on the podcast because of the speech you did in Manchester, and you really went through all these types of roofs and give a really clear understanding to people that are in the industry of how good and what these roofs do. So if we start off with a tiled roof, Craig.
Yeah, okay.
Well, tiled roof in Ultraframe.
The tiled roof was the latest development that we put into the market for a solid roof solution, and we kind of sat back and watched the industry develop tiled roof options, and we're actually quite a late entry into the market, but we got some benefit from sitting back and seeing how others have done it and how we could maybe solve problems in a really good way to present a low risk option for homeowners when they do decide to maybe change a tired old polycarbonate roof to a tiled roof option. The insulation that we've designed into the roof is critical to its performance, making sure that there's no gaps between the insulation and the rafters so you don't get any air leakage, designing things like humidity control into the roof as standard, and of course you remember from the glass roof podcast something that I mentioned was that interface between the roof and the frames and the brickwork. Well, guess what? Yeah, we insulate the east beam as well on the tiled roof options.
And that's so important.
Absolutely.
That's so important. And I speak to customers a lot in the showroom or out on the road, and people not understanding how important that is frustrating.
And what do you mean by that then?
Well, if you don't insulate around the framework and where the roof meets, and it's not all properly insulated with all the bars inside, essentially, and you'll be able to explain it better than me, Craig, but essentially you'll end up getting mould on all the plaster work, and that's what I've seen time and time again.
Moisture.
Yeah, moisture.
Yeah, it's about just limiting the risk of condensation. When a cold surface is met with warm air, that cold surface will naturally generate moisture. It's like getting a drinks can out of the fridge, isn't it? Your fridge is 5 degrees, you bring that warm can into the room and straight away it can be saturated. So just trying to help understand how the design of the tiled roof from Ultraframe has been done to really solve the problem in a really smart way. The chassis of the roof is fully insulated, the roof slope is insulated with no air gaps between the insulation and the rafters. And then of course above that we've got the building regulation compliant ventilation to allow the roof to perform and deal with the extremities of outside temperatures to inside. And then a choice of tiles on top, and you can design glazing into the roof slope as well, so you can flood the adjoining room with natural light, and that glass is again, it's an intelligent glass, so you can pick and choose to have the right level of solar gain, low U values to get the insulation that you need. So the glass with the tiled roof from Ultraframe is working with all those attributes that you've got of achieving a well insulated room, so those things work.
It's a little bit like when customers say to us, composite doors. Oh yeah, I've got a quote for a composite door. Well, there's composite doors and there's composite doors. It's exactly the same with a solid roof. I think a lot of people think that or tiled roof, that they're all they're all the same. Oh yeah, that one's the same as that. But actually when you delve into what is inside an Ultraframe tiled roof, you realise the difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of marketing out there to homeowners about tiled roofs delivering the same objective for homeowners. Lightweight, energy efficient, integrated glass, 10-year guarantee, delivering the look and feel that they want to achieve and a wow factor to their house. A variety of materials will be offered to homeowners on that solid tiled roof shopping journey. Roofs that are made from aluminium, timber, or with Ultraframe you get a composite of materials where you've got the best of steel, EPS insulation, timber, all fused together in a really intelligent way with thermal breaks to stop that condensation risk and make sure that your humidity of the room as well doesn't penetrate the roof and cause problems further down the line.
Again, Ultraframe, from my understanding at the moment, are one of the few companies that actually structurally check these tiled roofs when you're building them and designing them with a customer. I know when we design one with any of our customers that will new design, everything has to go green and okay before you can go any further, so you know that everything's been structurally tested, and you don't get that with other roof suppliers. You can just order what you want, which is a worry.
So as you remember from the Glass Roof podcast, I'll say it again, in the DNA of Ultraframe is making sure that everything that we do is done to the exacting standards. And we take the long postcode, we pinpoint the location of the property on the UK map, read the exact wind, snow load data, altitude above sea level, and make sure that roof is designed to withstand those precise and exact weather conditions. So when the tiles are rattling on the roof at night or the wheelie bin's blown over, you can sleep safe knowing that your Ultraframe roof's gonna deal with everything that the UK climate can put at it and more.
So I think something that maybe customers aren't aware of is what the different options are. So we're mentioning a tiled roof there, which is obviously one that looks, and it comes in different colours, doesn't it? So we can actually marry up the tiles to look similar to their house roof. Yeah,
you can choose to contrast or complement. There's the two different tile options, the lightweight tile options as well. There's the replica slate, and that's got a choice of grey, brown or red, sort of matched to the most popular tile choices that you'll see on most people's houses around the country. Or we've also got the alternative, which is what we call like a shingle tile effect, and that's a broader choice of colours. It's got more of a gravel type aggregate look to it, and with that one you can even complement the hips and the ridge cappings to match the tile choices too.
Okay.
So yeah, plenty of choice out there for customers who want to contrast or complement the.
And another question I always get asked whenever quoting or in a showroom is, do I need planning permission? Do I need building regulations? And you don't need planning permission to put a solid tiled roof on an existing conservatory. You just need building regulations, and we deal with that at TWC all for you. But it's a really simple process because Ultraframe have actually got their roofs is already compliant, if my understanding is.
Absolutely.
So it is just a simple application to your building regulations, or there are other companies out there, building regulation companies, that can deal with that for you. Obviously at TWC, if you buy one from us, we deal with that process for you. So it's really easy. It's not something you're going to get rejected on.
So if I've got a glass roof or a polycarbonate roof, and I want to go for a fully solid tiled roof, I don't need planning permission.
No, not at all. So just building regulations.
Whichever side of the house it is, however big it is.
If you're building a new one and it's a new and existing, sometimes that will come under planning permission. We can advise you on that. But if it's existing, you don't need planning permission for it. It's just a simple building regulations application, which we deal with. It's all within our price, and it's something that we deal with. I must admit that we have used a previous solid roof company that didn't have it already building regulations pre-compliant. A lot longer of a sort of journey to get that through, so it is just a lot easier using an Ultraframe roof to get it through.
Well, obviously I don't want to swear in front of Craig, but when we did use, and we won't mention any names, but before we did come over to Ultraframe, we did in our old showroom, we did actually have one of their solid tiled roofs in the old showroom. And if you would remember, one of the things that blew my mind was actually when we moved to the showroom and we actually took apart the solid roof there, we couldn't believe how much moisture there was within inside. There was mould, there was moisture, and this was inside a showroom, so it wasn't even exposed to the elements. And we actually couldn't believe that. When we obviously came across to Ultraframe and they talked so much about the key bits that they do.
We did laugh, didn't we? It was. I think we moved the showroom probably about 2 months after we agreed to come on the board with Ultraframe, and that was done. And Craig had given us a lecture about how much moisture there would be in this other roof, and we sort of nodded our heads and went, "Yeah, of course." Craig's face when we sent him those photos of us moving the showroom, I slightly remember a text message coming across saying, "Told you about the moisture." That certainly did your sales job really well.
But the sad thing is you couldn't see it, you didn't know it was happening until you decided to take the roof down and move for good reason. So from
the inside it looked fine, from the outside it looked fine, but actually it would have caused a real problem.
is it about price or is it about results? And that's one of the reasons we entered the market later with the tiled roof and solid roof options. So we could be absolutely certain that the design of the Ultraframe products is really working with the usability that people want to get out of these rooms, handling the extreme temperature changes. You know, we live underneath these roofs. You've got a plastered finish. The only thing between you and the outside is the roof itself. So it is really, really important that you do your due diligence and you get a demonstration in the showroom on the tiled roof sample and just understand how it's been really well thought out. It's a proper solution.
Well, there's a beautiful one in our showroom. Anybody wants to pop down to our showroom, be more than willing to show you about it. So that's the tiled roof.
Yeah.
We've got the new roof, hybrid roof, I believe.
Yeah, so the hybrid roof, now this is a real strong contender for being my favourite Ultraframe product actually.
Okay. There you go.
The hybrid roof allows you to have the best of both roof systems.
Okay.
So you can take a glass roof and then you can design insulated panels. You can use those panels to control temperature. You could have them for tactical shading or even privacy. So if you're overlooked by a neighbour on one side, you can use the hybrid roof to have an element of solid insulated panels, but still get some glazing options designed in there to bring in that natural light and enjoy those healthy mood boosting properties that we spoke of earlier. And the other side to the hybrid is it can be a solid roof with just one or two pieces of performance glazing in there to flood the adjoining room with natural light and make sure that the customer gets a room that they're happy with.
Because the customer literally chooses how much glass compared to how much solid panel.
That's an option with the hybrid roof, yeah.
I have got a confession to make as well, Craig. One thing that you didn't say was that you can design the glass, if you're a nerd, to look like an X-Wing off of Star Wars. And if you come into our showroom, the actual living roof that's in there, the hybrid roof that's in there on the hip lean-to.
Yeah.
I've put the glass in such a way that it looks like an X-Wing off of Star Wars.
Stunning.
Which I don't know if you knew that, Joe.
but you know,
I'm not going to look at you the same then.
Not another roof on the market that'll give you that flexibility. Star Wars fans, come to the TWC showroom.
Ultraframe is the
and get the roof of your dreams. Yeah.
And I think it gives it a little bit more flexibility, doesn't it, in terms of shape and size and things like that?
Yeah, people want choice now, and you know, some of the glass roof structures with such weird, quirky shapes. You know, pitches as low as 5 degrees, all these angles, and the hybrid roof uses that BBA approved glass roof chassis to create the shape and style and achieve the designs that you need. And then we've designed, as you'd expect, thermal breaks to prevent cold bridge and materials conducting moisture. And at the same time, we found a way to put the insulation in there, comply to building regulations with the U value, but at the same time deliver a roof that's very similar to the weight of a glass roof. So when we talk about changing a roof and you're recycling that conservatory foundation, the living roof is really, really suited to that process because you're not overloading the foundation.
I know a lot of customers we speak to are worried about that when they know they want to replace the roof because it's freezing cold in the winter and boiling hot in the summer. But a lot of their fear is that they're going to have to either do new foundations or they're going to have to replace all the frames. With the Ultraframe tiled and hybrid roof, that they don't need to do that, do they?
Not at all. You can just change the roof. Change the roof and frames if you want to. Having the benefit of using that glass roof chassis that we've got 40 years experience with made it a real strong option for us to develop that into a hybrid roof, which can be a solid roof, it can be the best of both. And the thing I like about it is it offers a compromise. So you get a husband and wife, a couple, and do we want the glass roof? Do we want the solid roof? I don't know, you choose. How does that normally play out? Well, you play your S card, don't you? I can keep you both happy. Where would you like the glass and where would you like the plastered vaulted ceiling elements to be? And sit down and design something together and bring some harmony to that. That
And the
situation.
glass shapes you can get, they look stunning, don't they?
Absolutely,
To be honest, they look,
yeah.
in the sunlight,
Yeah.
they look absolutely amazing. The way that the sort of the light shines in through different angles, different specs. Because on the solid roof, tiled roof, you can only have square, rectangle, glass. You can't have any shapes. Whereas on the hybrid roof, you can have little triangular shapes and stuff that look really, really impressive.
Yeah, and that just allows you to, as I said earlier, manage maybe how the sun sweeps the garden.
Yeah.
And get the benefit of that natural light coming through to light up your favourite space.
Yeah.
Maybe a chair that you want to read the Sunday morning paper in. Yeah, the sun rises in that direction. Okay, well we'll sort that out for you.
So you've got the glass. What are the panels made out of?
The panels are made from PIR kind of insulation.
Yeah.
You've got two options. You've got the aluminium external finish,
Yeah.
or you can have the UTEC composite panel,
Okay.
which still delivers the same thermal performance,
Yeah.
but it's got like crossed hexagonal chambers within it, and that gives it incredible strength and durability, but also allows it to dampen noise.
Okay.
And then on top, beneath that, you've then got the layers of insulation, and again they're tight to the rafters, and then you'll have your additional layer of plasterboard on the inside to give it that look and feel of the room that you always dreamed of.
I think that's the thing as well, isn't it? Is often when we look at pictures of conservatories or roof replacements, we often look on the outside, but of course actually from a customer's point of view, they live inside the conservatory, so actually for them it's really important what it looks like on the inside. And what you're able to do with both the hybrid and the tiled is that you're able to make it feel like a room, aren't you, but just with glazing.
Yeah, and the other thing that people don't realise is how close, if they've got a glass roof, how close that glass actually is to the floor. The key thing with the hybrid roof is the elevated ceiling is projected from the insulated east beam pelmet that runs around the outside. So we're actually lifting the ceiling height and getting the benefit from that pelmet to create an airy, spacious room. Whereas with most solid roof conversions, that sloped ceiling is finishing right onto the window frames, and that can present people with a bit of a shock. I wasn't expecting it to be this low.
It's making the room smaller.
Come to the showroom and just see how, the TWC option lifts that plastered ceiling up into the living space more so than what other roofs will do.
And that's what everyone wants, isn't it? They want it to feel bigger, feel
Yeah.
light, but feel warm.
Aesthetics really, really important. You're going to live in that room all year.
And they do look
Make sure you
stunning
get it right.
with this sort of grey colour of the panels. Is there any other panel colours, or is it majority grey at the minute?
No, the option is grey.
Yeah.
It's the 7016 anthracite grey colour, and there's a lot of these living roofs that when you step back and you see how the light would reflect off a glass panel, it picks up that same grey appearance. So you can sometimes you've got a job to tell where's the glass and where's the panel itself, and with the tiled roof, the grey is by far and away the most popular tile
Yes, it
choice
is,
as
yeah,
well. So
it
it really
is.
makes
Yeah, it
sense
looks
to maintain that grey appearance and.
From our point of view, speaking to customers, I do think there is a little bit of confusion, with what exactly is a conservatory, what is an orangery, what is an extension, and I think a lot of the time they're a little bit confused by that.
Yeah, it's just a lot of mythical words that have been made up over the years to entice people. It's a bit like bouquet and bucket, isn't it? Being honest with you, it's I've got an orangery and I've got a conservatory, and actually, if you ask. Well, we've had this question before at the Conservatory Outlet Gala when we were sat with other directors of 28 other businesses. What do you call an orangery? What do you call a conservatory? And it's a little bit it's a bit funny, isn't it, with the different answers. What's your thoughts behind this, Ultraframe? Did you start the orangery conservatory debate?
We've done consumer testing on what is an orangery, and somewhere I'll be able to find the videos and share about what consumers said to us. But across that group, nearly every one of them described an orangery as being something different.
Yeah.
I think the standout themes were having solid elements, some solid structure to the side walls, so corner piers, intermediate columns, some kind of abutment pier against the house wall, and then the roof itself would have what we now describe as like a pelmet, so a defined perimeter ceiling on the inside of the room, with maybe a lantern on top, to
Yeah.
let the light come through. Overwhelmingly, that's what people would, I guess, lean towards describing an orangery. That was certainly what we found.
Well, it's interesting. You speak to some customers and they'll say it's because of the amount of brickwork on an extension or living space. Sometimes they'll say it's because of the roof. Sometimes they'll say it's because of a cornice. And it's just interesting, isn't it?
It's a well-debated topic everywhere
Yeah.
you go, because everybody's got different opinions and different viewpoints. But the great thing is about the product range, you can design your living space to be what you want it to be, and if you want to call it an orangery, you call it an orangery. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. We will call it orangery from now on. For the bouquet fans out there.
And I think so. You mentioned there about the lantern. I think a lot of people see that lantern style as whether it be the extension, whether it be the orangery. What are we able to offer from Ultraframe in
It's
terms
the new one,
of
isn't it? The exciting one. I love it. We've got one in the showroom. But go on, Craig. I'll let you introduce it.
Listen, the popularity of lanterns is growing. I think that the flat roof extension has really started to take off. The key things about the lantern products is you can sit the roof really low down onto the flat roof. So it doesn't kind of stand up from the roof like a Taj Mahal type structure. So it looks really clean and contemporary. And then you've got that 25-degree pitch on the Ultra Sky lantern, and that just allows the light to be projected into the room in a really smart way. We've got the super slimline ridge as well. So the junction where the ridge meets the glazing boys is a really small, intimate connection detail, and that just allows you to have maximum amount of glass.
so it doesn't sit so proud on the roof, you mean? Or?
When you look through the roof, you've got more glazing and less roof material. So the sight lines through the roof are so much more improved than what you may have got with a traditional.
And the cornice options on the new flat roof they're fantastic. Aren't they?
Yeah, you've got a choice of. God, we've got that many.
It's about six.
We've got curved, we've got two-tier flat, we've got a four-tier. You can have a projected soffit. So if you want perimeter lighting around the outside of your flat roof extension, orangery extension, then that's an option that you've got available to you as well.
And again, even if you've got an existing conservatory with a glass roof that you want to update and you just want it to maybe look more part of your home and be more proud of and get that modern look, all three of these roof options can go on an existing conservatory.
Indeed, absolutely.
And all three can easily. Very rarely do we need to change frames. Very rarely do we need to do any new footings, because we'll test all that for you for the customer, and it just makes a huge difference to the property, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and you've touched on something important there, and it's that suitability of existing base working frames to make sure that the project that you go ahead with is fit for purpose and accepted by building control, and they are accepted by building control, so you can rest assured that you're doing the job properly with
with TWCS. We are an Ultra installer, and to be part of the Ultra installer network, you've got to do these things as standard. You've got to do your testing, so customers can be safe in the knowledge to know if you do choose TWC, it will be done properly.
Changing any translucent roof to a solid roof is a legal requirement that you have to comply to building regulations, and that's documented in government documents and the LABC, Local Authority Building Control. So you've got a legal obligation to make sure that your installer ensures that your project is done to building regulation standards, and the homeowner themselves now have got a responsibility legally to make sure that's the case as well.
And that's the nice thing, we take care of that all in-house, don't we?
Yeah.
And I think in terms of the different options, so if a customer, from a customer journey point of view, they can come in and they're able to say, well, could you show me what my conservatory would look like with a tiled roof, with a hybrid roof, or with a lantern roof? And we're able to provide that for the customer, aren't we?
Yeah, so it's again using the software that we've got, which we partner with Ultraframe for, U-Design. It's just enables you to design the customer's dream. You can do it from your home, you can do it in the showroom. If you're in the show, we normally put it on the big screen and we can just draw whatever you want. And what we tend to say to customers is come in and design the dream, and we'll price that. And then because there are so many different options, and Ultraframe have done such a good job of making all the different options look absolutely incredible. Whether you go for, you know, what I call the piece de resistance, you know, the flat roof, your flat skylight, you know, your big cornice, you know, or you go for a traditional glass roof with a pelmet, the actual inside of your living space, it looks sensational, it looks amazing. You don't need to, if your budget won't stretch to certain options, then there are options there to make it look incredible and not like a greenhouse on the back of the house, you know. So I think it's important with the different options we've got and the design team we've got.
It's about the designers, using their ears and their mouth in the ratio they're given, aren't they? And listening to the customer as to what it is that they want. But also, I think what customers quite enjoy is when someone will say, well, they'll give them a bit of guidance as well, because there is a lot of options. So it's almost like, right, well, what is it you want from it? Tell us what you want, and then we'll design something. If you like it, great. If you don't, well, we can design something else.
And there's 4 main options, and if you come to our showroom, which, you know, you never get harassed in this showroom, you're not going to be asked for any details, but all 4 of those options are there. Now, obviously, we're limited on space, so we couldn't put 4 options of glass, 4 options of this, but there is 1 option of each type of roof within the showroom. So you can go in there, you can look, sit inside of it, because, you know, I think you touched on this earlier, Joe, 90% of the time you spend in your home extension is not from the outside. So you've got to be able to sit in one and to get that feeling of whether you feel like it's at home. And I always say to my customers that, look, when choosing a design, when choosing a company on these builds, what you've got to understand is this could probably be the second most expensive purchase that you ever make if you're building a new extension. Generally they are more expensive than cars, unfortunately, if you're going for certain things, so it's a really big choice. So to not at least come in and have a look at one and making sure that you're making the right choice in seeing it. You know, you don't have to be using TWC to walk in our showroom and have a quick look to see what you're doing. We'd be more than happy to advise on different areas.
Yeah, brilliant point that you make. Your home is, for me, the single biggest asset that I'll have, and I wouldn't compromise or take a risk on that by any means. I'd do my due diligence and make sure that I was making the right choice and buying the right products. And that's something that's evident in the TWC product range and the Ultraframe product range.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, as 2 businesses, we like to try and work very closely together. That's why we do the Ultra Installer. That's why we're bringing out the new thing on the market, which will be HUP, which we will talk about later.
Look forward to that
which
one.
Is really exciting,
groundbreaking.
Fantastic. And it is just trying to make sure customers have these options. So, you know, talking through the options we've got today, you know, you've got the solid tiled roof, and that comes in a few different colours. You've got amazing glass panels that look so modern, and pop down and see the one in the showroom. Going on to the hybrid roof where you've got different angles, you've got the X-Wing version of Star Wars in Twindon showroom, and then, you know, going on to the flat roof lantern, which is, I think that's the newest of the 3 roofs that have come out onto the market. And I've been really surprised of the different types of cornices you can have on that roof, because it really, I was worried that it would just be quite a singular, you know, cornice. But actually, the 2-tier, the 3-tier, really. And
just to explain what a cornice is, that's to hide the guttering, isn't it?
Yeah, for Joe.
Absolutely. Could you explain? It's the aluminium shroud, or it runs around the perimeter of the outside of the room, and it just finishes it off nicely. You've got different options if you want contemporary or traditional look and feel to the room.
It's quite nice. It just hides the gap, doesn't it?
You can have them different colours as well. Some people will match the colour of the cornice to the frames and have maybe a different coloured roof option with in terms of the colour of the lantern and things. So again, that's just another bespoke element that you can put into your project to make it look and feel different. Yeah,
I think that's the big thing, isn't it? People, you know, change their conservatory roof for many different reasons. Energy efficiency being a big one, noise that you touched on earlier, but actually one of the other things is keeping up with the Joneses. And I think actually having something that's different to the neighbour or different to the friend that they go and visit and they sit in their living space, I think that is a really nice option for people. If they can personalise it with, you know, a different cornice or a different type of roof, well, that's a real benefit to people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the customisation and choice and just making it bespoke, and it's your roof, your way, really, is the way that I describe it. Yeah.
Craig, thank you ever so much.
It's a pleasure, honestly.
For coming
thank
in
you.
And going through in such detail the different types of roofs. For more information, you can go to www.twchome.co.uk, or you can go to Ultraframe, which is
ultraframe-conservatories.co.uk.
And again, like we said in the glass roof segment, the Ultraframe website's got so much information on there. Digital brochures. Please check out your approved local installers as well. That'll be us. But also, please pop down to the showroom for a chat and have a look at these roofs, because we're very lucky. We've got 4 in situ that we're more than happy to show you and share our expertise on.
Lovely.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Great.
you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
TWC, the Home Improvement Podcast, help and advice on different ways to improve your home.
With a little bit of fun along the way.